Real quick, every person that subscribes means I will donate 10 cents to Child's Play charity. Okay, on to the video. Pokemon's 25th anniversary is here, which means it's a great time to talk about a franchise that is near and dear to many of our hearts. But I don't want to talk about the new games though. Rather, I want to talk about a reinvention of the series' greatest hits. I use the term reinvention loosely, but this reinvention is in the form of an MMORPG known as PokeMMO, which is able to seamlessly combine these said greatest hits into one seamless experience. Today, I wanted to talk about why you need to play PokeMMO. Because of its accessibility, its superiority to Game Freak's modern titles, and its preservation of a golden legacy. I'm going to be hitting a lot of similar points that I did a long time ago in a video I previously made. However, this game is surprisingly accessible once you get past the setup phase. By accessible, I mean all the different ways you can play PokeMMO. For example, I usually play it on a big screen with an Xbox controller, but you can also play it, on a phone or a tablet on the go. And all of this is for free. All you need is a couple minutes to set up everything and use a couple guides to help you out along the way. Because of that, it's even more accessible than modern Pokemon games. Simply put, you don't have to track down a $300 Switch that's probably out of stock due to the pandemic, plus spend an additional $60 for, quite frankly, a mediocre game. Instead, you could just have your potato PC or your phone run PokeMMO just after a little bit of setup work. Simply put, there's almost no excuse not to try and download PokeMMO. But if you still need convincing, I'm gonna tell you why it is superior to any of Game Freak's modern titles. Listen, I know a lot of people still love the modern titles of Pokemon. Specifically, I'm referring to when I say modern X and Y through Sword and Shield, but if I'm being blunt, if we compare them to what I consider to be the series' apex, which is Pokemon Emerald, they simply falter in comparison. Now, there are plenty of videos on the net on exactly how those games faltered and how they did poorly, but I would rather talk about what PokeMMO did better rather than talk about what those modern games did specifically bad. First, online play is simply at its peak in PokeMMO. No more gimmicks from 6 through 8 are included here that, quite frankly, those gimmicks only work like half the time. And PokeMMO allows for real-time interaction between users and battles that just take place by the click of a button. No more ridiculous lobbies to sit through and wait on, and you don't even have to pay an online subscription. On top of that, as a quality of life update, a global marketplace to sell Pokemon and items is put into play, which is something that the series has quite frankly needed for forever. Now, second, there is no real lack of content in PokeMMO, as frequent updates allow the game to preserve its own lifespan. None of the new games have more than one region. Now, PokeMMO has 4. Hopefully they'll add the second region soon, but for now, 4 is quite a bit, and those new games aren't even implementing the full Pokédex anymore. And while PokeMMO only has generations 1 through 5, that's still plenty of Pokemon without losing too many of your favorites. And to be quite frank, most of the events that occur in the modern games are pretty recycled and lack substance, while if you pay attention to the events that go on in PokeMMO, the seasonal events and things, they tend to have quite a bit of content with them. On top of this, PokeMMO has tons of side content and even some custom content in all 4 of its regions, and it works as a fully functioning MMO with an MMO style economy. Simply put, there's a ton of stuff you can do. And lastly, PokeMMO doesn't shortchange or cut corners with ridiculous gimmicks to simply make the game more appealable to 2-year-olds. I'm talking about like the EXP share garbage, where, oh, your whole team gets experience, or we're just gonna make the game so easy that it's literally like you're just button mashing at that point and just grinding. Because with a new level cap system that is stricter than the ones on the original games, and through additional balancing, you actually have to strategize. I know, it's kind of ridiculous that you have to strategize No, it's not, actually. It's not ridiculous at all that you have to strategize. You should be strategizing. That's what I'm saying, is that in a Pokemon battle, what makes them engaging is when you have to actually strategize to beat your opponent, as opposed to just walk through them and use Fire Blast with your freaking Charizard. Does that make sense? I think so, yeah. And all of this comes together as a part of preserving Pokemon's legacy, which, quite frankly, the modern games have kind of trampled on. If you are familiar with the world of emulation, you would most likely agree that its purpose is to actually preserve valuable pieces of digital art, just like how you would preserve paintings and works of literature. And PokeMMO does this through smart usage and enhancements of previous games. Heck, even the graphics are scaled so that they're always pixel perfect on any device you use. They've never looked this good before. While you can argue that Game Freak may have done the same level of preservation with the modern remakes, in my opinion, I don't think they quite captured the same level of bottled dopamine that was the original pieces themselves. Those modern remakes have their own problems, which people have covered a ton. I mean, let's just look at the disaster that was Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee. And while I do plan on buying the Sinnoh remakes that are coming out, to be quite frank, am not very confident that they're gonna be holding much of a candle to the original games. So let's cap off this point with a positive light. By playing and engaging with PokeMMO and even considering supporting the game, we can help others experience the rich legacy of Pokemon in an unspoiled and an enhanced environment. Now, with Pokemon's 25th anniversary, I think it's a good time to talk about a franchise that has been so close to our hearts for such a long time. Because I know that I grew up with it, and I know a lot of you guys grew up with it, and it's a very personal connection that I know I, myself, and many of you guys have with those beautiful, wonderful games. And today, I wanted to talk to you about what can give us that experience back again through a reinvention of the series' greatest hits. That being an MMORPG that I have sunk tons and tons of time into called PokeMMO. And I very firmly believe that you, my friend, need to play it simply due to its accessibility, superiority to Game Freak's modern titles, and the preservation of a golden legacy that it provides. And that caps off another video. I just want to remind you, as I mentioned in the beginning of the video, if you subscribe, I will donate 10 cents to Child's Play charity. They're a really cool charity, they do lots of cool stuff. Also, if you follow me on Twitch, I will donate 10 cents to Volunteers of America. They also do a lot of really cool stuff. So consider subscribing and following for those purposes. My name is Gentleman Jax. I appreciate you coming in. Be sure to like this video, spread some awareness, maybe even get other people to get me to go broke by donating money to charity. I appreciate you guys. If you want to find out more information about Cents for Chaps, which is the charity campaign I'm running, make sure to check out my video on that. Alright, I'll catch you guys later. Love y'all. Bye!